But if you have questions on the ocean wave or anything else, just please feel free to let me know. And we're not going to have a long class. I got back into town, and then in 2 weeks, I'm going to be heading right back out again for my birthday. But if you have questions on the ocean wave, there we go. All right, cool. So you are connected. Thank you for being connected. Cool. We got you. We got you. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna be bouncing right back out for my birthday. And so I'll be on a cruise. So anyway, so I'm going to cover the 30-minute charting like we did before. But again, if you have any questions, so let me share my charts again. And there we go. If you have any questions on anything else, please feel free to join right on in during the Q&A, which we're going to go to shortly because I don't have a lot to cover. I do have a couple of things in my findings. Hold on, let me stop this camera from moving. Hello. All right, thank you, camera. Please stop moving. All right, cool. See, this camera is an AI camera. It follows, it's built to follow you. So if I was up doing a presentation, it would actually follow me. I bought me a fancy camera so it actually follow me, but you can also give it a hand command to tell it to stop. Okay, so that's why you see me. Anytime you see me raising my hand, I'm not saying hello. I'm telling the camera, please stop following me. Because every move I make, it'll actually do that. Okay. All right. So for those who are using the 30-minute arrow, I wanted to put this up because actually on one of my accounts, I'm actually in this trade right now. I got in it when the arrow first came out. I knew it was going to come, but I was sat on my hands and I said, okay, I'm getting anxious. I'm getting anxious because I know it should be coming, but it didn't come yet. So what had happened was I looked at news, okay, which we're going to talk about today. I looked at news. And the news was saying that there's going to be a lot of news coming out. So I sat patiently waiting for the news to get done. Let me see, pull this over so y'all can see this, because we're going to talk about that. I'm still playing around with this, even though I shouldn't, but I don't like being a guinea pig, but I am doing guinea pig stuff just to see. I'm always tampering with stuff and just sticking instead of just sticking with stuff. So anyway, I literally sat here on my hands. I said, okay, here's my hands, and I'm going to sit on these things because I want to jump in this trade, but no arrow, no trade. Write that down. That's the first thing in your notes, please. Well, I got this camera on Amazon. It's a Insta360 on Amazon. It's a little tiny thing, but I love it. It's a little tiny camera, a little thing, but it's powerful. But anyway, this is what I did this morning, literally while I was preparing for class. So I'm sitting on my hands because I'm saying, okay, there's a lot of U.S. news that's coming out. So I'm just going to sit on my hands and I've seen the setup. Okay, let me go back and show y'all this. Because this is where I mess up. Okay, this is where I mess up. I can take something so simple and screw it up. So I'm seeing this, I checked the 4 hour and I'm saying, oh my God, this thing looks like it. And let me move this line out the way so y'all can see it. So I'm saying, okay, I see it right here. And that's why I drew this line. Okay, going across here, you can see that it's basically double tapping in the same area. So here's price action over here. And that goes all the way back to June 20th. Okay, so it went down, and now it's retesting and stuck at this level. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm seeing. Okay. Go right here, and I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. Okay, if you guys can see this too, type a yes. Y'all seeing this? I want to make sure y'all seeing this. Okay. So everything is lined up pretty and perfect. The only thing that didn't happen, there was no arrow. So I'm sitting up here saying, oh my God, when is this arrow going to come, or is it going to come at all? And then after these news events had taken place, which was numerous news events, then the arrow had passed and came, I'm sorry, the arrow had came after these things have manifested, or after these things, look at y'all, I'm trying to use big words, manifested, after these news events had cleared, okay, then the arrow showed up and I'm like, okay, cool, let's go ahead and rock with it. Everybody clear on that? Okay, patience, patience. Because I'm going to tell you the difference, you guys, over the last couple of days, and I'm just being very transparent with you guys. I've been manipulating, trying to check this out, trying to do this. What about getting in early? Because some of you guys are just like me. Oh, well, I know what he's saying, but man, I like to get in early. Type of 20 in the box if you're one of those. I like to get in early. Okay, early. And how many times are we tearing up our accounts because we're in too early? Okay. Am I the only one, or are there others? If you're one of those people, type of one in the box. You're always trying to get in early, and that early is killing us. And I'm one of those people. I'm guilty. See, one of the difference. Let me say something. So let me just be very clear, because I know a lot of people are going to watch this later on. I want to be very clear. The difference between me and many of these other people who's on YouTube that who consider themselves gurus, they will tell you when they're winning, and that's cool. I don't have a problem with that. I literally don't have any strife or any problems with that. But number one, they don't have a live class every week where you can talk to them, which that's their prerogative, and I understand why they don't do it. Sometimes I get it. Let me just leave it at that. I know why they don't, and I don't have a problem with that. I get that. I get that. But number two, being able to talk to somebody who creates systems and been doing this for a long time, and to hear them say their mistakes and their proclivities that are still a hangup after all this time. It's important for you to hear that, so that when you hear from somebody else, you'll realize I'm not the only one, and we're all doing the same dumb thing. Okay. So you also learn, okay, if this is what their Achilles heel is, or if this is what's holding them back from reaching even further, and I'm doing it. If I ever want to succeed, let me stop doing what they're saying not to do. And this is one of them, trying to get in too early instead of just simply following the rules. And so for now, the simple rule is just wait until about 7 a.m., which I did not do on a couple of trades, and it cost me. Wait until 7 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Standard Time or New York time. Wake your hind parts up. You go through the charts. And remember, we started off with just doing the JPY pairs, okay, with the arrow, just following the JPY, which again, you didn't see many arrows. So what that did for me was say, okay, I ain't seeing too many arrows. So now how can I expand this? Okay. You see what I'm saying? See the thinking process? It ain't enough arrows, which you could have still been riding the same one. Let me unlock this so you can see. When was the last time we actually got an arrow on the JPY? That one we would have ignored because I was a shorty. But right here, this thing, other than that thing was it just hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped going. Has not stopped going. It's just on the tear. And that's partly because the Japanese government has not stepped in. And so they're just letting their JPY currency just fall through the floor. I don't know what they got in mind, but it's showing a smart move. Okay. Which is why on this one here, we didn't get our 30-minute arrow yet. I was waiting on the arrow on this one. I'm like, oh, I know this one should be turning the rock. Okay. Oh, this one worked. I've been watching it. I've been watching it. Oh, look at this one. See, 30-minute arrow. Okay. On the USD Swiss. I was sitting here watching this one and I didn't take it. Okay. Let me check some other CHF pairs. Nope. Not that one. Nothing happening yet. That one is just sitting stale. Let's see. I know you weren't doing nothing. Your lazy self. Let's see. All right, that ain't doing nothing. Euro Swiss, anything on that? Nope. But I was sitting here watching this one and I didn't take it, but this one broke through, and that one would have made you some pips this morning. Okay. That one's nice, which means these are still dropping. So it's the problem with the dollar. That's what it is. The dollar itself. Okay. But anyway, the point is this. The point is that instead of me just simply sticking to it, hey, you know what, let me expand it. Okay, if the JPYs are not giving enough arrows, then okay, I need to find some more. What's the first problem with that? Type. What's the problem with that? I'm spilling the beans so that y'all don't have to make the same mistakes. What's the problem? Good morning, YouTube family, by the way. Sorry, didn't mean to ignore you guys. Hope you guys are having a blessed day, and thank you for joining. What's the problem? Yes, you got it, Alex. You got it. I'm forcing setups. Why? Because okay, I ain't getting enough trades. I ain't getting enough trades. Number one, with this strategy, the point is to reduce the number of trades you're taking in the first place. How many of you guys would agree that one of the bigger hangups is that they call frequency trading. You're trading way too much, working way too hard with no results. Would you agree? How many would agree with that? On my trend setting on simplicity is one. Always use one. Okay. How many of you guys would agree that you're over trading and got no results? Nothing to show for all this excessive work that you're doing, the excessive stress of trading. Okay. Like I said, we're going to tell the truth up in here and shame the devil. Okay. This is confession time. The problem is that we're over trading and we have nothing to show for it. That's the problem. You have nothing to show for all that stress, all that anxiety, all that trading time, all that charting time, and all that marking up the charts and all everything that comes with that all of that stuff and nothing to show for it. So the thought process is, wouldn't it be nice if we had a specific time with a specific strategy, and then we hold the trades for a specific time and let the chips fall where they may? But at least what happens is, yes, you have enough trades to say, okay, I can at least find 5 opportunities a week, 6 maybe. And out of those 5 or 6, at least I'm now getting high quality trades. Okay. So that means that I'm on the charts far less than normal than I used to, which means I've just reduced my risk. Okay. And if I reduce my risk and I'm on the charts far less, then I'm far less stressful. Am I good so far? Type of 40 in the box if I'm explaining things so far right. The logic, flipping the script on how we behave. Come on, come on, come on, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Don't leave me out here hanging by myself. Because I'm preaching to myself just like I'm preaching to you. This is more for me than it is for you. Why? Because I ain't got nothing else to do. And I'm about to fix that too when I get back from the cruise. That's part of the problem. I just ain't got nothing else to do. So I'm just bored. And when you're bored, you play on the charts. And when you play on the charts, you start over trading. And when you overtrade, now you got to go do some makeup sex with these charts. I thought that wasn't right what I said. Oh God, help me! I need to go on that vacation. Let me shut my mouth and say so. Let me say this correctly or differently. Lord, how can I say that differently? Because I know that's going to be stuck in their head. Revenge trading. That's the term I should have used. Okay, revenge trading. Okay, is that better for everybody? Yeah. All right. Revenge trading. So now, because I'm on there too often, now I got to go back and do some revenge trading, which means now I'm back on these charts. I'm over trading again. Nothing. And now I'm going through this sick cycle. Let me give you all a term to write down. And this is why, again, I like etymology, the study of words, because they mean something. You heard of the term a pathological liar. Type of 100 in the box if you ever heard or dealt with a person who is a pathological liar. Okay, pathological. That's the term. Pathological simply means, in my opinion, go ahead and get your Webster dictionary out, but in my opinion, it creates synaptic pathways in the brain. In other words, you've trained your brain to do things on a pathway. It's on a path and it sticks to that pathway. Okay. Okay. So when you talk about a pathological liar, that's a person who is very consistent in lying all the time. They created a pathway in their brain and they're sticking to that yellow brick road called lying. They find themselves in a jam. The first thing they're going to go to is default, I'm going to lie. That's their default. Okay. However, we put that term very positive. We use it all the time to describe a pathological path is the key. We create a pathway in the brain to lie for pathological liars. But the problem is you have pathological traders. You can't break the pattern. You know it's not working, but it's hard for you to find a way to break the pattern. Why? Because it's embedded in your head because you've been looking at so many YouTube videos and all the different things. And so you are no longer consistent. So your pathological sickness is inconsistency. You never stick with anything long enough. You never stick with a trading system beyond a week. You never stick with a strategy beyond a few days. And even though you know you should, you don't. Type of 200 if I'm on point so far. Come on, talk to me. Come on. And boredom doesn't help. So for all of you guys who want to quit your job and be a full-time trader, I keep telling you, I strongly suggest don't do that. Because trading should never be a full-time job in the first place, because you should be in and out on these charts. You should come in here, be very specific on what you're looking for, place your trade, and then go do something else. So when you're at your job, it's no longer a stress at your job because you know you could walk away at any time. But the moment this is all you got, the stress of this being all you got, that's going to be problematic for you. And you're going to create negative path. Oh, take over my camera. Hold on. Stop. Don't follow me. See, if you wave to it, you're telling the camera to follow you. Okay. So that's why. Sorry about that. So the point is that you create pathological negative pathways in your head. In other words, mental behavioral patterns that's hard to break. And just like a pathological liar will always default to a lie when they're in a jam, traders go into a pathological sickness that forces them to enter trades, even though they know it's not in their best benefit to take those trades right now. It's called, we call it, oh, you're forcing trades. It's a pathological situation. Because mentally, you know you shouldn't be doing it. Mentally, you know you shouldn't be taking 40, 50, 60 trades a week, but yet you do. And you go over the charts on the weekend, you swear to yourself you're not going to do it, and then as soon as the market opens, you go back to your own default ways. Why? Because it's a sick pathway you've created in your head. And now it's called habit. Are you guys with me so far? If this is making sense, type of 500 in the box. It's called habit. And so we've created bad habits, bad trading habits. I don't know who this is for because this was not in my notes to talk about this today at all. And it could be that it's just for me. And you are listening in to me talk to me about what's going on with me. Because oftentimes I can have the greatest of trading days. It's not like I don't know how to trade. Problem is when boredom kicks in, I ain't got nothing else to do. So guess what? Let me just see what the charts got going on. What y'all talking about? And there I go. Knowing full well it has nothing to do with the plan. Or like Dr. Miles Monroe talked about, vision. It has nothing to do with the vision that I'm supposed to be sticking to. But because this plan is too simple, I'm going to need to complicate it. What's the plan? Get up at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or New York time. Okay, 7 a.m. Take a look for some arrows. Actually, before you look for arrows, the first thing you need to do, which has been killing me, and I have to confess, it hasn't really killed me, but y'all get my point. A couple of mistakes on some trades I took. Here's what happened. The first thing I'm supposed to do is look for what? Somebody type. Liz got it first. Bing, 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 bing. The first thing I should be glowing at is check the news for the day. Check news for the day. So the first thing, which is why I showed you guys the charts with the NASDAQ. Why? Because I knew it was going to have a down arrow. I knew it. But the first thing I said, I'm going to do, I'm going to be a good little boy today and represent well for the super easy team. Yes, and Jesus. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to check the news. And lo and behold, which by the way, I was talking with Elvis last night. We was chitter chatting about the news that was coming up for today. And I said, oh, there's a whole lot of red pocket news. Look, even this one, see, the PMI numbers are coming out in 30 minutes and 15 minutes for this one and 30 minutes for this one. Okay. But the majority of this news had came out right here. And I sat on my hands and said, I'm not going to touch it. The arrow did not come out yet. So let me just hold up. But even if there was an arrow and I know that there's some news coming up, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? Wait, you got it. Or just go to another pair that don't have news coming out for that day. It's really just that simple. If you're about to trade a pair that has news coming out on it, don't take the arrow. Wait, because the news could tear that trade up. Or just simply go to some other pairs that don't have news coming out. That's the purpose of checking the news first, which I have not done consistently. So, okay, see what I'm saying? That was a mistake. So a couple of the drawdowns and losses I took was because I didn't do the job right. In this job, you have to be extremely exact. A lot of the people who you guys follow on YouTube, I know some of these people, and they're very exact. They're extremely, they may have some, how can I say this? Their lifestyles, I may disagree with their lifestyles after they trade. They can have some, okay, we'll leave it at that. I don't agree with what they do outside of trading. Because it's like there's two people living in them. When it comes to the charts, they are so crisp and disciplined. But the more money they make after they get off the charts, they get more wild. Okay. Which is a whole different situation because they can afford their sins. Okay. Whatever comes to their mind, they can afford to do it. And so there's no restraint once they leave the charts. But one thing they do have in consistency in trading is they're very crisp in what they're looking for. And they're willing to wait for it. They're very disciplined when it comes to the charts. That's why they can afford to leave the charts with money and go finance their sins. You all understand what I'm saying here? Y'all understand what I'm saying here? Some of the people you know that you're following, I know y'all follow them. That's what makes them good at what they do. When they come to this, they're very, very specific. Very. And they follow that rule to a T because they found that was what worked. And if there was no trades for those days, there just ain't no trade for that day. And they have the ability to walk away. It's called discipline. Discipline. So the first thing I said, I'm going to do, I say, I knew there was going to be an arrow coming out on this. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it was coming. I said, no, let me discipline myself. And I'm going to wait this time. And I'm going to wait. And I'm going to wait. And then when this got done, I said, boom. Immediately after this stuff got done, the arrow showed up and I was able to jump on that NAS trade. But it required me to follow the rules. Everybody understand what I'm saying? So let's just say, for an example, you come to the charts and it's 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or New York time. And, you know, there isn't an arrow or there may be an arrow, but news is coming up. Again, wait. Let the news pass just to make sure that it won't impact that trade. And if it doesn't, boom, take the trade. If you have to wait until 8 o'clock, because some of this stuff ain't going to come out on your schedule. It's going to come out when it feels like it. All right, that's fine. If that's the case, then wait. Wait. Why are we making things so hard? I'll tell you why. Because we have that little devil in our head that's we've created negative pathological pathways of trading in our head. So we're all over the place. And no matter how simple we know this could be, we have a knack for making it complicated. Would you guys agree? Type of 400 if you agree. We'll find a way to make this overcomplicated. Let me show you something else. All right, let's just say, let me find one. Okay, so this was one. All I'm doing is 30-minute arrow. Check the 4 hour. Does it make sense? Okay, it's tap dancing off the top of the trend. I see it's hitting the resistance, which again, I'm not a fan of the Swiss, the CHF. I'm not a big fan of it. Okay. But if you did take this trade and it didn't work out, why would I be okay with this one? Why would I be okay with a loss if that didn't work out? Why? Somebody type. Why would I be okay? Why would I have to be okay? Why can I be okay with this one if it doesn't work out? There you go, Alex. You got it first. Because it fits the strategy. That's it. It fits the rules. I followed the rules. So here's what God was sharing with me. He said, it's more important for you to learn how to follow the rules than to follow the results. Because over time, the more you follow the rules, the results will manifest themselves. They'll come to pass. You're not going to win every trade. That's just the way it is in this business. You're not going to win every trade. But the more you follow the rules, the more success you'll find because you followed the rules. Like for an example, yesterday, I posted some trades for you guys yesterday. So for an example, here's USD CAD. Look at this bad boy. And this is one that me and Elvis was discussing because I say, oh, I see that same setup, where it's sitting on the support line on the 30-minute. But guess what happened, y'all? Guess what happened? It was looking real nice, like it was strong support. And watch this, market makers method people. Look at this. Watch this. I'm going to show y'all discipline. Because had I not disciplined myself on this one, I would have lost on this trade last night. I promise you guys, I lie not. And I was literally talking to Dr. Elvis about this one. Which, by the way, if you're in the copycat group, you made a good chunk of money on this trade because Miss Jenny did call out a sell trade on this one. I don't know if she closed it out or not, but she did call the sell trade on this one. So you guys are eating extremely good on this one. And also for those in the copycat group where we're at right now. Yeah, did she close it out? Yeah, she already closed it out with 54 pips on it. So yeah, that was a good trade. Good trade. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. All right. So yeah, she did. All right. So I was looking at this, and Dr. Elvis is looking at this for a potential buy trade right here. Do you guys see that W pattern? Market makers method, people? Because I know a lot of y'all studied the market makers method. Okay. Okay. So a lot of y'all who studied that market maker, you see that double bottom shape? See, it did it right here. See that little W pattern, that little double bottom. Okay, and then it takes off. See, drops real hard, double bottom, and it should have taken off. What was missing from this picture right here that saved me from this loss right here? What was missing? I never got the arrow. And because I didn't get the arrow, I didn't take the trade. And look what happened. This is one loss that I did not incur in the last 24 hours. Actually, it was last night, so it was less than 12 hours ago. This is one of those losses I did not take. Why? Because I was disciplined and I waited for the arrow. And since it didn't show up, saved me. It saved me. Yeah. Okay. Is this making sense? Is this helpful? That's okay. See, that's why we have this class, Sean. That's why we have this class. See? That's why we have this class. See, what it does, it takes watch this. Let me share this with y'all. I follow this other guy. He's a world champion trader. Okay. World champion. He's won a bunch of championships in trading. Okay. Let me see what I'm looking for. Let's go back to this one here. EuroCAD. No, let's go to USD CAD still. Okay, let's stick with this one. All right. What he talked about. Now, this arrow up here, which I posted in the video yesterday for you guys on YouTube. Okay, so let me mark this up so you guys can see it. Because all you're doing is just look at this. Number one, you check news. That's step number one. Check the news. Okay. Number two, you get an arrow. Cool. Now the news is passed. You can take it. The only other step I'm going to check is one thing afterwards. See, it's simple. 1, 2, 3. Check news, arrow. And then before I take that arrow, I want to check on the 4-hour and see, does it make any sense? And let me change the color of this line so y'all can see this with your own eyes. You're only doing 3 things. That's why I said, how is it possible we constantly overcomplicate some of the simplest things? Okay? Because you have a pathological situation in your head that's making it harder than what it is. Okay? So everybody see this blue line, this powder blue line? Just type blue in there so I can make sure y'all seeing this. Type blue. Okay. All right, Rich, you typed it first. Liz, it's next. Okay, so I know y'all should be able to see it. So number one, I'm checking news. Number 2, arrow. Number 3, let's go to the 4-hour and just see, especially if you have the sexy analyst, if you have the sexy, that's cool. If not, you can still use simplicity to do this, but it'll be a little more difficult by itself because it doesn't have the built-in support and resistance, supply and demand zones, trend lines, and all the other fixings and features that we normally use when making a decision that you manually draw in yourself. So that's the reason why I always tell you guys, get the sexy analyst. Okay, make sure to get that because that already has everything pre-built in. The fib levels, all that's pre-built in. I don't have to think. Why is that important? Because this world champion, and let me finish going over this. So if I move this out the way, this is where the arrow was, and I'll put the line back, okay? This is where the arrow was. If you had to make a decision on whether this was a good setup or not, based on the 4-hour trade saying, okay, 30 minutes said it wanted to go down, 4-hour is what direction is the 4-hour going? Let me ask y'all this. What direction? One glance, what direction? Look at the trend lines. See the outer trend lines? What direction? I don't see nobody saying up. Good. It's heading down. Do you see the yellow dots? See, for mine's on the sexy analyst, I made mine's yellow. Okay, oops, sorry. And then we're going to go over this again step by step. Let me go to my indicator list, go here. And see, when it came to the supply and demand zones, I just gray them out. So it's already going to look like a Christmas tree on my chart. So I don't want all those colors. So what I did was I just grayed them out, which you can change the supply and demand zones to whatever color you want. When it comes to support and resistance level, I made my resistance level yellow and I made my support levels white. That's all I did. Okay. So now we have a downtrend and we have a yellow dots representing resistance. So based on this information, how many would agree that if this is stopping at this level, it probably wants to go down? If you agree to that, type of 600. Okay, Liz is first, Reggie. Yep, good. Alex, Rob. Okay, everybody's in agreement. So this wasn't difficult to make a decision with the 3-step process. Number 1, check for news. Number 2, check for an arrow. Number 3, just go to the 4-hour and see, does it make any sense? That's it. That's it. That's it. So then why are we making this thing so difficult? That's the question. If this doesn't work out, what direction is this trend heading overall? Any, Reggie? Okay, everybody see it. Okay, all right. We all seeing it. Now, I do see that it is hitting the top of the trend line. It is hitting resistance. So then, okay, this is an arrow. I'm willing to take a gamble on this one. It is not as pretty as the UCAD, That's what I call a UCAD, USD CAD. UCAD was prettier because not only was the arrow in the same direction as the trend, so that made it a double blessing, pretty much a no-brainer trade. This one, this is in the uptrend, but it looks like it's topping out at the top of it. So if this one doesn't work out, I understand why it didn't work out. But at least what did I do? I followed the rules. You see that? I followed the rules. It was 30-minute arrow. It did make sense, you know. So what do? I'm gonna put my stop loss above this level and let it do what it do. It could just double top right here. So where would I put my stop loss on this one? Let's just say I take a trade right here. And this is a little dummy account, so I don't know what's in there. So I'll just take a penny trade, just show y'all. All right, I'll take a trade right here. On the 30-minute arrow, so I'm in the trade, right? Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go back to the 4-hour and let's see. All right, that's the level. I see where this is the highest point right there. So let me put my stop above it. And that'll give me about 25 pips stop. And then I'll put my take profit in for about 25 pips. And then after that, what is left for me to do now at this point? What is left for me to do with this one? Richard, I like your answer the best. Walk the hell away. Lord, forgive me for using that term, but that's the truth. Walk away. Go do something else. That's the problem. We don't walk away. We're constantly checking our phone every few minutes. We're driving ourselves nuts. When the truth is, after you enter the trade, you only got two options. Either it's going to work or it ain't going to work, and then you go on to the next one. The champion that I was sharing with you guys, and then I'm going to go to hands and get on out of here because me and Nancy are going to go spend some time together. But here's the point. How long, let me ask you guys this first before I go to tell you this. How long did that take for me to actually make an assessment? How long? How long? And this is not the best of qualities because I really don't like the CHF. The Swiss is sneaky, which, by the way, I wouldn't hang on to this one because, well, it don't matter. They have unemployment numbers tomorrow. How do I know? Because I check the news. I check for news for the next 24 hours. So not only do I know what's coming out today, but I also know what's coming out tomorrow just in case I hold the trade a little bit longer. Okay? See, look at what's coming out Thursday. See, unemployment rate. And they have their inflation numbers. So I am not going to be holding this trade anyway, which is why I'll be in and I'll be out. I bet you if I did take this on my personal account, I'll make sure that win or lose, I'm gonna be out before that news event tomorrow. Tomorrow is dangerous. So technically, to be honest with you guys, don't take this trade. I wouldn't. Which is why it's probably bouncing around and doing what it's doing because it's setting people up for tomorrow's event. So that's why I check the news, not only for today, but also for tomorrow. So I'll know what's going on. So would I technically take this trade? I wouldn't fool with it. But even if not, okay, let's just say you want to take it and just take a gamble. All right, you're risking 25 pips. It's not a big deal. Okay. Not a big deal. And this is only on a pin 0.01 lot size. So the only risk I have is $2.82. So ain't nothing to cry about sitting there and watching all day. No big deal. The point is I followed the rules. All right. So getting back to this world famous trader, he used the term, and I taught you guys this maybe a year ago, but the professionals they use what's called a mechanical trading system. Mechanical trading system means they put in all the elements necessary to remove human decision because they deal with the same problem that we all do, which is emotions. When it comes to trading, your emotions are going to kick in. You can't fight that. Don't even worry about it. You can do all the psychological testing and all the, study all the books and all the theories you want, but that's not going to be avoided. You know why? Because the manufacturer built that into you. What do I mean by that? There's a scripture in the Bible that says, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. Now, in that statement, what it's saying is, wherever your money is, you're going to have your feelings there too. That's why I don't play over my. How many of y'all feel like you tell people, bro, I don't play over my money. I don't play over my money. You ever heard that before? You ever heard that before? Type of yes if you heard that before or said it yourself. Some of y'all did. Bro. I don't play over my money, bro. I don't play. I don't play over my money. Get my money, bro. You got people who will kill you over money. You have friendships that end over money. You got families who ain't talking to each other over money. You have divorces over money. So obviously, money is important to people. So that's why the Bible said, God said, where your treasure is or where your money is, there will your emotions be also. Wouldn't that not explain why us as Forex traders or whatever you're trading, doesn't matter, crypto, whatever, would that not explain why we get very emotional when we enter a trade? Type of amen if you agree. See, the manufacturer already know you because he built it into you. Yeah, I don't believe in that God stuff. You don't have to, but it doesn't take away the fact that the truth is the truth. Your philosophy on it don't, it really don't matter. That's like me saying, I don't believe in gravity. I did. I was praying that gravity worked fine when I was on that plane flying over Atlanta and the other states. Please, Lord, let this aeronautics work. Because if not, if the aeronautics don't work, gravity gonna kick in and this plane going down. Okay. Didn't matter my philosophy on gravity. It's going to take over if aeronautics don't kick in. My opinion didn't matter. How about that? So when your manufacturer says, I built you, I know how you are because I built you that way. Where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. I built you to do that so that you'll learn to protect your resources. So you're supposed to feel some kind of way over your resources so that you won't be squandering them like a fool. I built that into you. So every time you take a trade, yes, you get emotional. You start feeling some kind of way. You get anxious. You start, why? Because you know your money is at risk. And that is why we're always checking our phones, checking every trade, check. But the best traders on the planet, they create what's called a mechanical trading system. And sometimes it requires indicators or just a simple strategy, whatever it is. But basically what it means is they are doing everything possible to remove themselves from the decision-making process so that it follows a strict set of rules. And if the rules are met, they take the trade. If the rules are not met, they don't take it. It doesn't matter whether you got bills to pay. It doesn't matter if you got a desperate situation and you need to hurry up and make money. That's why the people who I don't take on as clients, I don't care. And I've been this way for years. If I find out that you're in desperate straits, I do not want you trading. I don't want them as a client. Yeah, but I'll buy your system. Please don't. Please don't. What's the best system? Because I need to hurry up and make $500 by next week. Don't buy any of my trading systems. Why? They don't work? Oh, they work fine until they get into your hands. Why am I saying that? Somebody type the answer. Type the answer. Why am I saying that? It's not that I'm trying to be offensive. What do I already know? What do I know? Why do I tell them that? Reggie, you got it. They won't be disciplined. If you knew you have to pay a bill for $500 and you send this thing up by, oh my God, I'm down by, look, you see this candle spiking? But realistically, I'm only down by 2 or 3 pips. They're going to piss in their pants, panic, and write bad reviews, which is what happened to me. My name got assassinated because of people like that, because they weren't following the rules. Some of these trades, you're just going to have to wait. And sometimes it's going to go into drawdown, but if it ain't hit your stop, leave it alone because it can double tap. It may retest its level up here and then turn around and drop like a rock. You don't even know. But because you're in desperate straits, and I get it, I am not in any way, shape, or form mocking anybody. But when you're in desperate straits, that's exactly the way it is. Your heart will take over. Where your treasure is, there will your emotions be, and your emotions are going to take over, and you're going to make a train wreck of yourself. In the last few dollars you had left, you're going to gamble it away because you're anxious emotionally to make the money, but you're also anxious to try to save the money from any losses, which we all know losses are part of this game. But when you're in a desperate situation, you don't want to hear that second half that the losses are part of the game. You're expecting to win every trade, and that's not realistic. So I've always told people, wait until you're financially stable, then you come back. So that when you come here, you can remove your emotions and just play the game for the game itself. Wait for the arrow, check news, wait for the arrow, set your stop loss, take profit, make sure it makes sense on the 4 hour, and you're good. So number one, check the news. Number two, get an arrow. Number three, check on the 4 hour, just see, hey, does this make sense to take this trade or not? And then set it up and leave it alone. That's it. See? Doesn't require you to overthink this. If this is helpful, let me know. Let me know if this is helpful. Type a 600 if this is helpful, if this is making sense to all you guys. So even if this loses, it's an acceptable loss because, okay, it did make sense on the 4 hour. I see what it's doing. It is going in an uptrend, but it looks like it may double top right here because it's hitting the top of the trend. And every time it hit the top of this trend like it did here, it ended up dropping. Did the same thing here and dropped. Okay, so I see that if you're hitting the top of this trend here, chances are, worst case scenario, you may do a double top here. But from the 4 hour perspective, my stop is above here. So therefore, this is an acceptable loss. Okay, that's cool. And look, see, for an example, I'm looking at it on the 30-minute. If I'm staring at this, I'm freaking out over this one candle. But truth is, if I look right here, it was only 1 to 2 or 3 pips. It wasn't much. It wasn't much. And I'm going to share this truth with some of you guys, and then let me get to hands if you have any. Truth is, for some of you guys, I suggest take it off your phone. Just take this trading platform off your phone. When you trade from your laptop or desktop, so that when the trade is placed, you don't even have the ability to look at it. Take it off your phone. That's what I strongly suggest. Your life would be so much better. Because you're only supposed to be, with this strategy, you're only supposed to be coming in once a day anyway. And then after you set the trade up, there's really no control over it anyway. So staring at it 50 times a day really ain't going to make it work. What it does, it makes you panic, and then you end up manipulating, or you start messing with your stop loss or this and that, as opposed to, hey, I've set the stop loss at an acceptable loss rate. And after that, whatever you do, you do. And then I'll come back tomorrow and I'll rinse and repeat. This is what professional traders do. And they take losses too. I guarantee that because I know them. Some of the best traders in the world. They don't tell you, but yeah, they take losses too. Because it's just part of it. That's just the way it goes. But they are very consistent in coming right back to work the very next day as if nothing happened. And they rinse and repeat. They keep the same process. They don't change it. They don't deviate. Okay. All right. Let me get some hands and then let's get up out of here. Go ahead, Reg, thank you for your patience for being on hold. Go ahead and unmute and go ahead and with your question. By the way, if you have a question, and it's not just about this, if you have the ocean wave, whatever, please raise your hand. By the way, and while we're waiting on Reg to unmute, all of these trading systems are at a 50% discount, you guys. Use code MIA, M-I-A, my grandbaby. Please use that code. Let me see something. Hold on, Reg. Stay right there, brother. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Let me stop sharing for a moment. I want to show y'all something real quick if I can. You can go ahead and ask your question, though, Reg.
How you doing, Uncle P?
All right. How are you?
I'm all right.
Good.
Why don't we take a look at AUDNZD?
Yeah. That one is playing around. Let's see. See, it's still sitting in the range.
Okay, because from my end, it's lining up for a possible sale.
Yeah,
but like you said, no arrow, no trade.
So, there was one yesterday. I don't know where it went to, but I seen one yesterday on my end. So I don't know what happened with it, but there was one yesterday that I saw. But either way it goes, yeah, I'm still gonna keep my eye on this one here because as you can see, it's not going far. The other good part about the AUDNZD, it moves slow. This is one of the slowest moving pairs. Okay. It moves extremely slow. So whatever it does, it just sits in that area and it looks like it's going to set up for a nice reversal. We have a stop above the demand zone right here. So that's that. It's a small, whether it goes or don't go, it don't even matter. Just a few pips one way or the other.
All right. And can we also take a look at NZD CAD?
In CAD. Let's take a look at NCAD. All right, look at NCAD, 30-minute. All right, so this is one, and see, this is what happens. Right here, we had an arrow, which is the evidence dot showed that there was an arrow, but it broke through because of what happened this morning.
Some news events.
You got it. That's the reason why. So I was looking at this one and I started to take it. I said, nope, 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 nope. Because when I look at this, I said, no, I'd rather wait. Let's scroll up right here.
Oh, okay.
See? And so what, guess what happened?
It went down and up.
Down first, and then it went up. That's exactly right. See? Let me see if any of the others acted up. Let me just check this one. Okay, that one is looking like, and see this, here's another one, CAD Swiss. You have an arrow, 4-hour. If I had to suggest which way it was going to go, what would you suggest, Reg? Would it go up or down? Based on the 4-hour.
I'm looking, I would go down.
You would? Okay. And then we have an arrow saying which way.
And it said down.
And that's why, like I said, acceptable losses. If it doesn't work out, it's not that big of a deal because you can put your stop loss above these levels based on what you're seeing on the 4-hour. Nice little comfortable stop loss, and then you leave it alone. And if it works out, it works out. If it don't, it don't. But at least these are simple trades that a lot of these mechanical traders that y'all watch on YouTube, this is all they're doing. They find an acceptable system and they take acceptable losses because they are focused on the process, not the profits. Okay.
All right.
And I'll also write that down. Focus on the process, not the profits.
All right. Oh yeah, and on NZD CAD, when we say we are waiting for an hour, what time frame would you recommend?
I'm always on the 30.
On the 30 or
Yeah, that's the whole point. We're always on the 30-minute.
okay.
Always. Now, again, here's the deal. You guys can play with this and you can try it on the 15-minute. You can try it on the 1 hour, whatever works for you. But I just found that the 30-minute has less fake outs, which is why I like the 30. The 1 hour is too far away.
Okay.
So it's up to you guys. Play with it. See what works for you. I'm just telling you what.
You said focus on the process,
Not the profits.
okay.
That's what they do. They focus on the process. And that's why they take losses, but they don't really trip. They just come back the very next day. I'm in some of these groups. I know them. They're very good at what they do. They're very good at what they do. And sometimes they say, oh, dang, I missed my entry. And then they just come back the next day. They don't force the trade. They don't try to join in late. They just say, oh man, I missed it for the day, but here was a good setup. It was a good setup. Or they got in, it didn't work out. It's like, okay, well, they take 1 or 2 trades, it didn't work out for that day, and then they move on. And they come back the next day. They never linger. They do not linger on these charts. That's the one thing. And I was sharing this with Donna the other day. That's out of all these people that I know who are doing very well in this business, they don't take a lot of trades per day and they don't linger and they have a very strict process. That's what they have. And they use varying strategies. Not all they got their own styles. It's not specific to this strategy or that strategy, which is what we look for. What's the strategy? What's the strategy? What's the strat? They all have separate, different strategies. That's what I started noticing. Just taking a step back, doing my psychology studies, which I did go to school for psychology. So looking at their psychological process, what is there some key strategy or is it? And pretty much no, they have various different strategies. One is way over here, one is way over there. But the one thing they do have in common, they're very consistent. They come in at a specific time, they look for what they look for, and if it works, cool. Now, let's just say they lose one trade, they wait, they say if there's a re-entry, they try to re-entry again, and if that re-entry doesn't work out, then they say, okay, guys, we're done for today. I'm out. And they come back and do the same thing the very next day. They don't change the pattern.
All right. Got it.
Yes,
All right, thanks.
yes, sir. All right. And Liz, go ahead and let me go ahead and unmute Liz. And let me stop sharing the screen just for a moment because I want to try to pull something up for you guys. Liz, what's your question, dear?
Okay. Good morning, Uncle Pete.
Good morning. Good morning.
Super Easy family. I was looking at USD JPY.
Okay, give me
Yes. Okay.
one second. Let me share my screen real quick. I'm going to share this with you guys. I want to introduce you guys to somebody special. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
That's my new granddaughter. She normally sleeps all the time, but she was wide awake at that time. So that's
Look at that baby.
that's your Auntie Nancy holding my and that's me feeding my G baby.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful baby. Look at
Yeah. So anyway, what's your question?
So USD JPY, Uncle Pete, check it out.
Oh yeah. USDJ. And you know what? I was actually waiting on that one, but guess what? It didn't have.
It didn't have the arrow.
But I saw it, and I was like, well, maybe let me dip down to the 15, and you see the 15 and work fine.
Right. So when I went to the 15, and my question is to try to transition from the 15 to the 30 for the new 710 strategy.
Yeah, you can. Like, again, here's the point. Watch this. This is a normal what? 4 hour, trapped in the box, drop down to the what? 15 minutes. So this is the normal old school 415 strategy.
415, right? I'm stuck.
Yeah, that would have.
But what I wanted to ask, even though I saw the arrow come in, even while you was in class and you had spoke on it, and it dropped so quickly, it scared me. And I looked over there and I said, let me see, this is the 15-minute chart, but it hasn't happened on the 30 yet.
No.
So I'm waiting to see if it retraced back up and get in at a better position. You
could. You could. But look what happened. Here's what happened.
Right.
This is why I didn't take any trade. Now watch this. Here's the one trade I really wanted to take today, but I stayed disciplined. Oh my God. I stayed disciplined. Watch this. And we talked about this one in front of you guys. Look at this. Look at that thing. It hit so hard. Look at how it gapped down. USD swing. That arrow was sitting there before the news came out. See? There you go. That would have been a nice one.
Right. So all on the USD JPY, all that happened just while we've been in class. The arrow came in, then it dropped.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting to see how that works with the 30-minute, if it ever comes in. But if it doesn't come in, I'm staying out.
Just stay out. And that's the problem with being, now you're hitting on something important, sis. That's the problem with being disciplined, because when we have a situation like this and we say, dang, the arrow didn't come in on the 30-minute. Well, from here on, and what do you think we start doing?
Force the trade.
We start readjusting the rules. Well, now next time I'm gonna do this and this. Okay, all right, that's fine. But see, you see how our emotions kick in because we say, oh, I missed this one. Okay, keep jumping around like a leaping frog. Let's see what happened on that. Okay, well, that one the rate trades back up because of news, which is cool. But we already have made something on it. So for those who like to scalp off of that, let's check gold for a second, because I know you like checking gold. Ooh, look at there. Bounce.
I was using Miss Jenny's between you and Miss Jenny.
Yep.
On that gold. I was in the going up.
Yeah. News. This is why, guys, the most important process that we have to start with first is what? News. And this, how many, now, not for you, Liz, but I want to ask a question to the group. How many of you guys are guilty of not checking news before taking trades? Type a 20 in the box if you're guilty. You never check the news. Never check news. Never check the news. I see a setup. Yep, I know you did. But did you check the news? You see? You see how news impacts these trades? So here's what I'm suggesting. You may see a good setup, but truth be told, you guys, if for any reason you see a news event coming out on a setup that you like this one was the Mona Lisa setup. I've seen this one. We saw it before the news came out. Okay, we did this one in class. We've seen it. And look what happened. The news came out, it did exactly what it was going to do. But what if it didn't? What if it didn't? And what if it shot up the other way and then you pissed? Okay. However, let's look at it a different way. You say, okay, well, you know what, Uncle P? It did meet the rules. Here was the 30-minute arrow. On the 4-hour, it hit the top of the channel. Okay. So, all right, I'm willing to take the risk. If the news hits it, all right, cool. If the news works out in my favor, cool. At least if you win the trade, you know why you won it. If you lose the trade, you know why you lost the trade. So if you're fine with that, then take these trades with the 30-minute arrow. Would you have did very well on this one? Let's just say you got in here, because by the time we started class, we were here, and price action is now here. That's a quick 32 pips that you won. Cool. Congratulations. If you would have lost and went the other way, okay, you're out. But at least you know why. But at least you did what? What did we do, Liz, on this?
We took the arrow on the 30-minute.
That's exactly right. Why didn't we take this?
If the arrow wasn't there.
There you go. So here's the deal. Yes, you wouldn't have missed one of them, but you would have won on the other. So now you're reducing the number of trades you take in a day. You're also learning to feel happy with yourself because you're following a mechanical trading system that follows rules. And now you're winning some trades. You're feeling good about yourself. So now you're more excited to stick to the process because now you're starting to see the profits.
Right.
Right. Follow the process and you'll follow the profits. This is what makes the difference between those who are consistent. Like, I know this thing gonna go down. I know it's gonna go down. And I know, okay, that's cool. But which one is following the rules? This one did. Now, you missed one, but you still won the other. So at the end of the day, you can look, and it's sitting at the 38.2 Fibonacci level. Here's a strong support level. It's about close to that 10 o'clock hour, like I told y'all. Didn't I tell y'all about 10 o'clock? So that means if it's in this trade, you just made a quick 30-something pips. Okay, cool. About 30 pips. It's going on 10, going into London. It could go further down. You can wait until London close or whatever. But let's just say you feel like, okay, it's 10 o'clock, I'm done. So you got quick 30 pips. Okay. Standard lot. You just made $300 and you're done for today. And you come back tomorrow. Would you be happy with that one trade?
Yes, sir.
That's my point.
Yeah. And so USD JPY was my homework assignment that I was watching just to see what it does, because you know how it's always going up.
Yeah.
For so long, so many months, it's been going up. This will be interesting to see how it interacts with the news and the 30-minute strategy.
This one did the simple old school 415. Here's the price action, tap dancing off the top on the 4-hour. Drop down to the 15-minute, and we had our arrow. So that's a 415. So, if you want to stick to the 415 strategy, do that. That's fine. It still worked out. But for this 30-minute strategy, which one worked out? Not that one, but this one.
Yeah.
It did work out. So whether you did the 415er or whether you did the 30-minute, it worked out. Bottom line is, what did we do right? We followed a process. So whether you stick with the 415 strategy or whether you follow the 30-minute arrow, each one has a process that must be followed. That's the point.
Yes, naturally.
Yeah.
And my last question, Uncle P, is for the notifications for my phone.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know we have the Ocean Wave scanner, we have the SR scanner, the Simplicity scanner, and the Sexy Analyst scanner. When you set your phone up, all of those will alert on your phone. It'll let you know which one it is, right? You set your phone up once for all 4 scanners.
Because what happens, I want to be clear. It really has nothing to do with our indicators or trading system or scanners.
Right.
It has to do with you setting it up so that the MT4 itself will send you out the notifications, because that's where they're actually coming from. The scanner sends the notification to the MT4 and the MT4 sends it to you. So that's the way.
Okay.
So make sure to go through this in the simplicity system. For those who have that, there is a bonus video in there that's only about a minute. I did it years ago on how to set up your MT4. So once you get into the simplicity system, go through the tutorials, and you will see that it's right there. 1 minute video on how to set it up.
Right, because I had it set up for the simplicity, but then one came in for Ocean Wave.
Yes.
One came in, but I'm like, oh, looks like they're all coming in.
Yeah,
But
correct.
I'm basically looking at it for simplicity.
Yeah. Then you can turn off the other scanners if you don't need them right away.
Right. Okay.
Just turn those other scanners off and just use the one that you want to use.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Uncle Pete.
You're welcome. All right. All right. Any other last question before I finish class today? See that camera? See how it follows me? Yeah. See, it's meant for, see? And then what happens is I hold my hand up saying, don't follow me no more. And now, see, it doesn't follow. It's the instant 360. So I do like that. Liz, you're always doing that. See, Liz, you're always doing that. What I mean, Liz, she asked a question other people wanted to ask as well. So thank you again, Liz. Your questions are always valid, and everybody else's questions. This is why I'll tell you guys, if you have questions, let me say this in closing, because I don't see any other hands, and I'm finna go hang out with Nancy. Let me say this in closing. One of the things that I did not like and never have liked is people will get our trading systems and they wouldn't ask questions. They just don't ask questions. I don't know why. Just ask questions, please. Ask questions. If you have the trading system, then on Wednesdays, if you took a couple of trades and they worked out or didn't work out, or you don't understand something, why aren't you asking questions? You see what I'm saying? I don't get that, because you can buy trading systems from other people. They're not going to have the ability for you to ask questions. They're going to sell you something and they're gone. Okay. You have any questions? Send an email. No communication at all. We've been here doing live classes for the last couple of years. So very few people come to class and actually ask a question. So if you have a question, ask. Okay. Ask the question. Okay. And it could be I talked all day today about the 30-minute, but if you had a question on the ocean wave or anything, just ask a question. That's what I'm here for. Okay. All right. Anyway, I'm going to go hang out and get my exercise time in. I got to go swim and do, I think today, 20 laps of swimming. And then I have to do weight training and stuff like that. I got to get, the older you get, let me leave you guys with this tip. I heard this from Warren Buffett. He was teaching at a college. He wasn't teaching. He came in as a guest speaker at a college one day, and he asked the students a specific question. He said to the students, if you were only allowed to have one vehicle for the rest of your life, one car, that's all you can have is one car for the rest of your life, what car would that be? And people were naming off different cars and this and that. And his point was, he said, that's your human body. You're only allowed one vehicle. And when that's over, it's over. Okay. So some of you guys, when you're stressed out, when you're going through things, whatever, the bottom line is, I know you're stressed out. I know you're feeling some kind of way, but we can't abuse our bodies because it's the only one we got. And sometimes what we put in right here, whether it's alcohol, cigarettes, weed, sugar, which is my proclivity, and I got a bad problem with sugar. I love cupcakes and pies and apple. Oh my God! So that's why I can't talk about nobody else, whatever your little thing is, because I got my own too. And what I did was I used my my proclivity, I don't want to say addiction, but my proclivity for sugar, pastries to be exact, okay? Buttercream cake. I don't like whipped cream. Don't keep that whipped cream stuff. If I'm going to sugar up, I'm going hard in the paint, baby, with the real stuff. Okay. I ain't doing that featherweight stuff. I'm doing the real stuff. And I'm going with the buttercream. Okay. Buttercream. Oh, I love buttercream. God almighty. Buttercream cake. All right. So here's my point. What I'm doing is I must drink a half gallon of water every day. And I have ice water. Nancy makes this for me. So I have to drink a half gallon of water. I have to read at least one chapter out of the Bible. I have to read one chapter out of a book or an audio book. I have to do weight training. I have to do my swim laps or do at least a couple of miles walking or something like that in addition to the weight training. And then I have a couple other things. And if I complete my list for the day, then I can have one or two cupcakes. And I guarantee, because I'm so addicted to my pastries, I get my things done and I get them done early because I got to have my sweets. So you see how I turn my proclivity into something positivity. Okay, I'm going to say it again. I took my proclivity and turned it into some positivity. Okay, because I got to have it. So if you have a proclivity, turn it into something positive. Earn it. No, you can't have that joint. You ain't work for it. You understand? Which, by the way, cut it out in the first place. Anything that's going to damage your body, you want to cut it out. And the reason why, and the reason I'm doing this is because I want my sweet, but I ain't eating nowhere near the amount of sugar I was before. Why? Because I realized too much sugar is what helps lead to all Alzheimer's. Okay? Sugar, which is what my dad died from. And guess what he used to do? He used to bake cookies. Besides working in the military and working at the post office, he used to be a baker. He used to bake cookies on the weekends because he was taking care of 9 kids. I got 4 sisters, 4 brothers, 4 sisters, same mom and daddy. My dad raised 9 kids, and he did the man thing, taking care of his responsibilities. So he would hustle on the side, baking cookies and pies, which means he consumed a lot of sugar. So for me, I'm going to earn it. But even when I earn it, I can't just have unlimited amounts of sugar. I got to cut it out. Why? Because I only got this one body left. And when this body is over, I'm in trouble. Everybody with me? So you do the same. Protect your body. Stop misusing and abusing it just because you're having an emotional time. You're going through a relationship breakup or divorce, or you just having a bad day in the markets or whatever. We can't abuse our bodies. It's the only one we get. Somebody type amen and we're out of here. And boy, look at this trade right here. Oh my God, look at there. This one trade of, look at this. Oh my God. And we can't say we didn't see this one because it was here the whole time and we discussed it. Look at where this at now. 40 and counting, 43 pips. Look at that. Oh my God. Let's look at UJ, the one that Liz talked about. Wow. And that was a simple 415 strategy. So if you're still sticking with the 415 strategy, there it was. 2 candles tapped off the top of the zone of the red area. Arrow comes in. And then from there, you would have been in this one and you would be up 86 pips, 87 pips. Follow the rules. Follow the rules. Follow the rules. Derek said Simplicity notified him about USD JPY. There you go. That's why you use the notifications and get the scanner. By the way, if you don't have the scanner, get the scanner. And it's all of these are half off right now. The Simplicity system is half off. The Ocean Wave is half off. 2EZ is half off. And the scanner for Simplicity is half off. Okay. All of those are half off. Just use code MIA, Mia, my granddaughter's name, and you'll get 50% off. Okay, you guys?